welcome to Jeff Stinky Turner's Rough and Ready podcast. And it's frontman to frontman. And I'm absolutely chuffed to have as my guest on this episode the one and only iconic wild man of punk, Nick Colmer from the Antinowhere League, worldwide known as Animal. Nick, how you doing, brother?
Everything's really good. As you know, Jeff, that, front man to front man, life can be up and down. We have good shows, we have bad shows, but we're still here, mate. We're still here and enjoying every moment of it. That's good.
Brilliant, Nick. So, and that's great because what I want to, I'll get into, Nick Colmer, born May 1957, Nick?
56.
56.
You're making me younger.
I'm trying to do you favours here, Nick. You don't look, you're looking younger and younger. Like, you really are. You're doing well. So, born in Tunbridge Wells in Kent, can you give me, what was your early life like? Roots, mum and dad, brothers and sisters growing up in Tunbridge Wells?
It's always difficult because I later stage when we were started writing songs, Tunbridge Wells was the main influence because everybody in Tunbridge Wells was a wanker. So you had loads of material. That was it.
Yeah.
I mean, as I grew up on a council estate in Tunbridge Wells, obviously at that age when reggae was in, skinheads were in, you had to be in a council estate skinhead gang or you were not. It was only later on in years that I morphed into motorcycle scene and all that. But Tunbridge Wells gave me all the material I needed when Magoo and I started back in 79, started writing songs about people in our local town. And the town is full of wankers. So the list was endless. We had so much material. It was so good.
Well, that's great because you do. I think the essence of punk is writing about at the beginning where you come from. Now, in about 2005, 2006, I was working for a painting and decorating firm in Kent, and we'd done a lot of work around that way. And we done quite a bit of work. Yeah,
you didn't work for me, Jeff, did you?
No,
I know I pay any fuck for any wages.
Yeah. But we was doing a lot of the council estates in Tunbridge Wells and that round about. Nick, that was rough as fuck, mate. Really, 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 like, you know what I mean? Like, really dodgy. So that is where your roots were laid.
Well, the thing is, Tunbridge Wells, as we all know, has this reputation of being the posh. You have, like all towns, have that posh section of it, but the real world of Tunbridge Wells was much darker. And we grew up on the dark side of Tunbridge Wells, looking at the posh people, thinking, thinking, oh, one day I'm going to be as posh as them. But it never really happened like that. I think when you had the dark side of Tunbridge Wells, which was wonderful. I mean, in my early days, we had gangs of skinheads and motorcycle boys and teddy boys. Everybody was in a gang, and should we say the hierarchy of Tunbridge Wells was somebody who we sort of like looked out to, thinking that they were the posh people. But really, as we grow up, the posh people are not the best people.
Yeah, no,
They're not the best. The best people are down in the roots, mate. As we know. Yeah, and I think with the songs carried that through.
Yeah. So. Well, when you got into, like, say you got into your mid-teens, Nick, say 71, 72 and all that. I mean, music, more than was like glam rock, heavy rock, with Zeppelin, Purple and all that. Then kind of in the punk thing, who was your musical influences when you was a kid? And did you ever think when you was getting into trouble and getting nicked and fighting, fuck me, I'm going to be in a band? Was that ever in your head?
I think as I was trying to go back to about 71, obviously I was a skinhead in the early days, and reggae was my influence. I grew up with reggae, so early reggae was everything to me, absolutely everything. It was only later on my brother-in-law was a motorcycle boy, he was a rocker and all that, and I started getting into motorcycles. But the music side of it for me, then when I started getting the motorcycles, I started getting into Jerry Lee Lewis and Bill Haley and all this stuff. We had a sort of like a resurgence of Teddy Boy Rock.
Yeah,
In
rock and roll, yeah.
yeah, 72, and we started going up to as a young Teddy Boy, as I'm more from skinheads into a sort of rock and roll, and all my
Yeah.
mates were going, "Have you turned gay? Have you turned gay?" But it was just like, no, I had suddenly had a slick back haircut and quiff and stuff. So we used to go up to the King's Road in Chelsea and
Yeah.
let it rock, where Malcolm McLaren had a shop with Vivian
Right,
Rice.
yeah.
Yep, and we used
Yeah.
to go in there as young kids. Whelps, I'm sure Johnny Rotten and all that was it. When I meet one day with Johnny, I will say, "Was you up there in about 72 when we were all up there?" 'Cause we're the same sort of age. But obviously, I started getting to the rock and roll, and then I went into the motorcycle scene. For me,
Yeah.
music influences. But I can go back, to the punks, but I mean, my obviously early days was Leonard Skinner, and they were it
Sure,
was
bang
it,
on, yeah, I'm
when
with
we
ya.
when we were motorbike boys, we were we had yeah, mud and all the glam rock stuff, which was all
Yeah.
jumping around. Yeah, Susie
It's
Quatro,
exciting. Yeah.
48 crash, 48 crash. I mean, we were grebos. So
Yeah.
it was small motorcycles going out to the venues at night and sort of doing the old shoulder dances,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
that one, yeah, the old mud, tiger feet, yeah,
absolutely.
let's
Yeah.
go.
So
So,
so that my musical influences, if I got to be honest, was probably glam. Glam. I was into a lot of sort of like quad rock, but glam was where it happened for me.
which way you went? So, what fascinates me, Nick, is then we come into the 70s with punk. Now, in 1979, you form the League, which is punk. Around that time, was you going to punk gigs? Was you going to see the Damn, the Clash, or whatever? Or did you not give a fuck about it?
For me personally, because Magoo was a old motorcycle boy for me,
Yeah,
um, when punk exploded, I was in prison. So
right.
I
What
was
was you in
doing
prison for, Nick? How long
uh,
did you do? Oh, all right, yeah.
we're going to list the
How long
longest
did
you
you
are,
do?
but ABH, GBH, causing an affray, violence, but this was endless when they chucked me away.
Yeah,
But because I was obviously on the rock and roll motorcycle route, I was in a lot of trouble. When I met up, Magoo and I were motorbike boys from many years ago. Um,
yeah,
Back in '76, I joined the Chosen Few and Outlaw Motorcycle Gang, so I was completely off out of the picture. Um, in late '78, '79, I was due to back in court again for I don't know what charges were this time, but the club said to me, "You've got to get out of the country. You're
right.
going down again. You're going down again."
Yeah.
So I went and lived in Canada for a year in '78,
Did you? I
'79.
never
Yeah,
knew that. Yeah,
yeah,
really. Yeah,
yeah. No, I went out
yeah.
to Canada. I have relatives
Did you
out on the
join
island.
any motorcycle clubs out there? Was
I
you?
kept away
It's
from
a heavy
yeah.
scene out there, isn't it?
Yeah, I kept away from them. I had to be a good boy. I had to keep away from it.
Yeah.
So what we had, I have relatives out on the island of Vancouver. I went out there, bought a car, but I lived in the Rocky Mountains for many years, for many months. We had, in my autobiography, there is pictures of me
Yeah.
chopping logs and skinning rabbits and stuff like that. What I had to do. So I had to keep away from the scene. And then when I came back in late '79, I
Yeah.
met up with Magoo,
Yeah.
Chris Exel, and he said, "I've got a band together. I'm going to be playing in music," and I
Yeah.
and I because I was still a motorbike boy, um, I came home, borrowed my old man's van, and I said to Magoo that. Well, I'll take your equipment to the show because I can borrow my dad's van. So that's how I became a roadie. I became a roadie
Right.
for the Antinowhere League. And
Really?
then after the first show, Magoo came to me and said, "I like playing rock and roll, Nick, but I can't fucking sing and play at the same time." So because I
So,
knew I'd been there, and I said, "Let me have a
yeah.
go on the mic," and obviously grabbed the mic, and
Yeah.
as you know, Jeff,
It
the
felt
microphone
natural. Yeah. Yeah.
and microphones are a heavy thing. If you go and put it in
Yeah.
somebody who's never in front of one before, it's scary as shit. And
Yeah,
that
of
was
course
like,
it's
scary
oh,
as
fuck
shit.
this, yeah, yeah, I get that, yeah.
You know, so I stood in front of this microphone it was fucking awful. And then when I sung a couple of songs, Magoo said to me, "Fuck me, that noise is awful. You're definitely in the band."
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
that
what
was
we
it.
want, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah,
So in a way, it was for me good therapy because I knew that I was going back to prison. So by writing songs with Magoo, late 79, 1980.
yeah,
And then I quit the motorcycle outlaw club I
yeah,
was with. It was therapy for me. I
yeah.
knew that
It was a different path, yeah.
if if I carried on the road I was on, I would have been no doubt hanged up again.
Y
And I often
yeah,
thought to myself, would I spend my life in prison? Because I didn't have anywhere to
yeah,
go. I didn't have
yeah,
anywhere to go, but well, all of a sudden gave me somewhere to go. And like the
yeah,
girl and I sat down, we wrote songs, and I
yeah,
found writing songs about people was easier than doing it. So
yeah,
and because of the cops grabbed me a few times for lyrical context, shall we say, but
yeah,
really it kept me out of prison. So for
yeah,
therapy, it kept me out of my my past and my path that I was gonna go
yeah,
down for the rest of my life, and
oh,
I knew that I had no choice at the time, but punk
yeah.
rock gave me
Yeah, that's what you had to hang on to. So you could
yeah,
it give you that choice. Now, things happen pretty fast because then you start in 1979. Did you what was you playing local gigs? Was that what you was doing onto the gig scene? I suppose your first ever show, Tunbridge Wells, yeah.
we were banned before we started.
Ah, that's great. Yeah,
There was only one pub that allowed us to play,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
it was the, Six Bells in Chiddingly, and the
All
landlord
right.
was a
Yeah,
new landlord, and
yeah.
his name was Paul Newman.
Oh no.
Great name. It wasn't me
Yeah,
one, but a great name.
it's a good
So
start. Yeah,
he put us on because went to a village where
yeah,
where he was a real rebel, Paul, and he wanted
yeah.
to upset the village. So along came the Antinowhere League, fuck
What
yeah,
better way to upset them?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's it. He upset and I mean, we joke about it, but
yeah,
there was a lot of people obviously didn't like the band. We were banned from everywhere because we found mouse and all that. But um there's after the show in Chillingline, we were
yeah,
then allowed back in Tunbridge Wells, providing we behaved
yeah.
ourselves. But of
Behaved
course,
yourself, yeah.
it never happened.
No, no,
We were banned from
still
everywhere we
not.
played, and
Yeah,
and we had when we went to the Six Bells, we had um, Keith Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
oh, right, yeah, he shot himself in the head, didn't he? Is that right?
Fuck
I think
knows.
he did, yeah.
Probably
I
after
think it was
seeing
Keith
us.
Emerson, yeah,
After
yeah,
seeing
yeah.
us.
He lived with him all them years later, yeah. It haunted him, yeah.
Yeah, but he came along to our gig, and
Oh, right, yeah,
and
yeah.
Paul
Oh,
Newman, the
that's
landlord,
mental.
said, "Oh, we got a hot celebrity coming along to watch your band tonight." I said,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, who's that?" Keith Emerson. I said, "Okay." Anyway, we started playing it, and Keith Emerson stayed for 2 minutes and said, "I'm not staying here listening to this shit." And that was it. We knew
He's
we were
got some
going
front
somewhere.
the fucking shit he churned out in his fucking life.
Yeah,
So
we knew we were going somewhere, Jeff.
yeah, going somewhere,
Once
yeah.
Keith
That's not
Emerson
a badge
said
of
all the
honour,
shit.
yeah, for him to slag you up. So then, the other thing that I would, how the fuck did the connotation, the meeting with John Curd, how did he come in to discover you, then to take you to the next step, or what? How'd that come about?
I think the thing is, because we were sort of like being banned from everywhere local, which was fun for us because we were
Yeah,
singing
yeah,
about our local people. And the more they
yeah.
found us, the
And
fucking more
giving it
fun.
to him, yeah,
We played up on Tunbridge Wells Common during the carnival and get
yeah,
picked off. The police arrested us. It was just fantastic fun,
yeah,
believe me. We never thought the band was going to do anything for 1 year, but just
yeah,
piss everybody off. But John
yeah,
Curd heard about this, obviously, and
yeah,
he put us on a show up in I think it was one of the big festivals up north or the
yeah,
Lyceum. I can't remember which one at this moment in
yeah,
time. he heard the name, he liked the name, heard the reputation we had. He said,
Fantastic name.
I
Yeah.
want that. Yeah. So I think with John Curd came on to us in the early days, without a doubt, we would have probably stayed in Tunbridge Wells area, pissing people off till the police locked us up.
Getting
But
nicked, being banged up. Yeah, yeah. So that,
I'm used to it. Magoo and I are used to it, believe me.
yeah.
They got a
So
place, they got our name on the station for
yeah,
it.
yeah. So you sign. Was it to his label, the ex-wife? Was it John Curd's label you signed
Absolutely.
to?
It was
Give
WXYZ, then
yeah,
AEC.
that's it.
He changed it a
Yeah,
few times because, as we know,
yeah,
John Curd's a dodgy geezer.
yeah,
Every time
yeah,
a tap fan looked
definitely.
at him, he changed
Yeah,
his record company, you know. We were just swept along with it. And
yeah, you do, yeah.
yeah, as boys from Tunbridge Wells, we only ever thought that it's going to last 5 minutes. Let's take as much money, as much drugs as we can.
Yeah,
And thank you, good night, everybody. But
yeah.
unfortunately, it went on and on. We didn't realise people wanted us. That was the thing.
Oh, fuck
We
yeah.
always thought that people didn't want to cut. We came out of Tunbridge Wells
Yeah,
where everybody didn't want us, fucking
yeah.
hated us. They banned us
But
from
now
going to
that's what I say, and we'll get to that. Worldwide, everybody wants you. So Kurd put you on, and then we come through 80, and in 1981, you have that fantastic cover, that breakthrough of Ralph McTell's Streets of London.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the catalyst that sparks it, really. You get into the top 50, and then you get offered Top of the Pops,
yeah.
and then you decide to take an axe into Top of the Pops. Give me more on that, Nick. Give me more.
Well, I carried an axe all the time. It was funny because
A mad axe
going back,
man.
going back to my old days in the bike gang, there was one guy in the chosen few who was called Ron the Bear, and he
Yeah.
always carried an axe on his back. He was a London
Right.
boy, like yourself,
Yeah.
London boy. He
Yeah.
had it strapped across his back all the time, and I used to think how fucking admirable he was. So the axe came from Ron the Bear. That's all. You know, I went down and got an axe for that. But because we did a promo video with me carrying an axe, you know, so
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
what and all that.
Fantastic.
Top of the Pop said, "Oh, you've gone. I don't know what top 40, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
you
It
can
was
come
in.
along. You can come along and do Top of the Pops. Come along and be with the Haircut 100 and all the other pop
Yeah.
pieces,
Yeah. Yeah. And wham
providing
until like, yeah.
providing you don't bring an axe." Come on. The rest is history, innit? How can they say that? I said to you earlier, you know, if they said to me, "You can come along, do Top of the Pops, providing you don't bring a carrot," then I would have bought a fucking carrot, you know?
Thought a fucking yeah, around
Yeah,
10 of the
that's it.
fuckers.
So
Yeah.
so I think Kurt said to me, John Kurt said, "Well, you can't take the axe." So I snuck it in my jacket. I thought, "Fuck you, yeah." So we went up to BBC studios, went in there, in a lift with the Big Yin and Kenny Everett. They stood there and like they said, "Fuck me," you know. Well, not Kenny Everett. He didn't like me at all, you know. So,
Yeah.
but the big unit, you know, he says, "Oh, I fucking love the Antinowhere League. I fucking love it." So we stuck fucking stickers all over his forehead, you know. And then we went in Top of the Pops. But when they saw that I had the axe, they locked us in our dressing room. They locked us
And
in.
they wouldn't let you perform.
No,
No.
they wouldn't let us out the dressing room. And like,
So they
we started kicking up and saying, "Well, we're not going." They said, "You got to go home." We said, so we then locked the door from the inside and said, "Fuck you. We're not going anywhere till you pay us our
yeah.
fucking money." And I think
Man.
back then, Top of the Pops was £75 or £76 per whatever you were in the band. So we said, "We're not going anywhere till you pay us." So we locked the door on the inside like that. And then, of course, Haircut 100 started again. Yeah. And then, of course, Winston wanted to go and bash them up. You know, it got really
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
control.
Fucking right. Fucking
So,
wimps. Yeah.
so it got all out of control. But eventually, they agreed to pay us £76 each, providing we fuck off out of BBC.
For fuck off out the door. Yeah. I'll
No.
tell you, if Curdy was there, he would have had the 76
Oh,
quid.
mate.
Like our rotten manager, Tony
Nightmare.
Gordon, did at Top of the Pops. He left us there with fuck all. And that's what they do. But then we come to, right, so, okay, you walked away from that, and that's good. That's moralistic, really. That's what punk's about. And then we get to the flip side. So what? Now, I see the video of that, and when it was out and what you've done, I've got to say, the setup, I hadn't seen nothing like it before. It was like fucking 4 mad fucking bikers, you know what I mean? It was quite scary. I would imagine kids would have been scared. And then you got this fucking song and the lyrics, obviously. Now, when that was heard, that caused all sorts of problems for you, didn't it?
Oh, mate, it was like the nail in your coffin,
Brilliant,
wasn't
though.
it? We knew we were
Yeah,
not going anywhere, so what the fuck did it matter?
yeah.
And I think a funny thing for us, punk, was always to be outrageous, to swim
Fucking
against
right.
the
Yeah,
flow, to go the opposite
yeah,
direction, to do everything to fucking him, to us, and I got to admit, Sex Pistols, yep, they were good, but
yeah,
I always being a skinhead boy, I always like to
yeah.
add lyrics on things. I always like Judge Dredd and all the people who fucking sung about,
Brilliant.
and the reggae. Well, my mother used to go, "Tut, it's just disgusting." So to me, the bad lyrics was the right thing. But when we put together So What, Magoo and I, um, it was literally a conversation in a pub between two wankers. As we
Yeah,
all know,
yeah.
the world's full of fucking wankers. That's it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
they
I
were
know.
sitting in this fucking pub going, blah, blah, I've done this, I've done that, I've done it. And like Magoo and I looked at I and went, "Oh, yeah, you've done this, you've done that, you boring little cunt." And it was
Can't,
that
yeah.
they were group. And it went from there, "You boring little cunt." And then we made it more stupid than what they were saying. It was a bit Monty Python, right,
Yeah, yeah.
right, well, I went down pit before the pit was open, and I went to
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was that
falling
sort of
shoebox in middle of the
that's
road.
it,
Yeah, so
that's it.
it got
And
more
it
and
was the
more, yeah.
same it was the same feeling, listening to these wankers saying how fucking good they'd done and how wonderful they were, and then we put more lyrics in, "I've sucked an old
Fucking
man's cock, and I've done all this." It was just a shock tactic, and
yeah.
for me personally, um, you know, um, lyrically to shock people was what punk was about.
Yeah, but
To be
it
acceptable to me was not
yeah,
in the bag.
and it was brilliant. So, and I'll get this in a way, once you're in a fucking a tough town, you're in a place and people do get jealous because I know even in East London, when the Rejects started having success, not ever, but I had a few people who wanted to fucking take you on, you know what I mean? Have a go at you. People who got, in the local boozer or something like that, got fucking stabbed in the back and fucking uh, different incidents all the time. Did, did you find that once it broke, and obviously the notoriety as well was So What? Did that kind of egg on even more egg on your own patch from wankers?
The thing is, I've always, as you know, grown up with wankers. I'm quite used to them. I was in a bike gang, the chosen few, where I
Yeah.
was the youngest member. I was
Got to grow
schooled.
up fast. Yeah.
I was schooled of how to handle people. We all know they're all around the corner, all the time around the corner. To me, I'm never phased by men. I'm never phased by men.
No.
I rode with a fucking blokes who would kill me and look at me, So
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
been phased by men. Women worry the fucking shit out of me
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean,
yeah.
years
They're more
ago, I read
scary.
Nigel Benn's book, and he said, "I'm scared of no man." He said, "But there was a certain woman," he said, "who absolutely brought me to me fucking knees." He said, "Rendered me helpless." So I get that. That happened. So then we come on to the release of the first album, Nick. We Are the League. Now that's a top fucking 30 album. It stayed on the charts
Yeah, yeah,
for a
that's so
long,
they could
long,
yeah.
long time. Is that kind of the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning from there?
Well,
Like
for
in
us,
phase one.
for us, it was like, "Thank you, good night." Here's the album, now fucking leave us alone.
Yeah.
We were only there for a short space of time to upset people. You going back to people being upset and,
Yeah.
yeah, we had people confronting us and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that's normal. But if I put my hand on heart, I think people like Robbie Williams get far more grief than I do, you know? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
known as being a fucking cunt, so It don't get worse than that. If you want to take me on, well, you know, I mean, the life's like that.
Yeah,
I've always been brought up with that. I'm brought up with a council estate
yeah,
like that. You know, I don't
yeah,
give a fuck about anything. So to
yeah.
us, the We Are the League album was thank you, here it's done, good night. You know, that's it.
Yeah, in a
We
box, and it will go down. I mean, wouldn't say legacy and all that. It will go down as a legendary punk album. It'll be right up there, and people will know that. But when we get to that, we start getting to the mid-80s, and the pool of punk, I was out there by then, was depreciating. So then
It was a sad
in the
time, Jeff,
80s,
wasn't it? It
yeah,
was a sad time.
it was a sad time. So we get to, I believe it 86, 87, 89 around that time. What did you say? I've had enough. Like, did Magoo agree with that? You just say, look, fuck all this. I'm going to go and earn a living elsewhere. That's what I'm going to do. I'm sick of the
Gotta
game.
earn some money. For fuck's sake, we never
Yeah,
had any money in the band.
yeah. No money in bands.
Yeah.
Fucking
I
what?
know. I know with the album sold a lot of albums, but obviously, as
Yeah,
we know, like many people, you never see a fucking penny. That was it.
no, fuck off.
Winston and I always used to say, you know, to John Curd, where the fuck's the money? Oh, you keep on about fucking money. He used to go, you know,
Yeah,
it was
money.
like that.
Yeah,
So, we Magoo and I came up with a concept for an album called the Branded album.
yeah,
And I thought it was a good album. We went along to Kurt and said, "Here's the album, here's the songs." But he said, but he was skint at the time, so he said,
yeah,
"Oh, stupid idea, stupid idea." And then we slowly morphed it into the crime album,
yeah.
I can't. Doug Smith came up with 20 grand for us, and we suddenly thought we were fucking rock stars, and we did this fucking album, which was really bad. And then Magoo just said to me in '87. It's as good as it gets. Let's fucking fuck off. Let's
Fuck
go.
off. Yeah.
So we did. We finished really. We'd had enough, Jeff. We you know we've accept,
I get that. Yeah,
we'd
I was
pissed
worn out,
everybody.
exhausted by the bullshit and the shysters and the changing scene. I just had enough. But from there,
Yeah.
Nick, what did we do? We'll get on to the 92 thing and all that. In between that, now, did you get into the building game then? Like, because you're a
Oh mate.
property developer, was
Yeah.
that what you
Yeah.
had to do? You're on your arse, you got fuck all, and you go, right now, I've got to take this path.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky enough. My old man was a builder, roofer,
Yeah.
and I know my trade in roofing, building, bricklaying, and everything
Yeah.
else going. When the mid '80s started, when we finished the Crying album, which we said thank you, good night, Winston and I started our own firm up, Roofcraft, and we were doing roofing and building work. Uh,
Brilliant.
Started from scratch, building up again, pumping tiles out on our fucking heads, concrete tiles, whatever you have to do to earn some money, because it was a bad time back then.
Yeah.
So I I won't say that I'm a property developer, but obviously we used to buy
Yeah.
properties, do them up, and I had a load of
Do them
friends
up
with
and
me,
bang
and
them
you said,
on.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So we earned a lot of money back in the early '80s, in the early '90s, um, doing farmhouses up and stuff like that, where you
Yeah.
could earn money in the building trade. It was fucking hard work, 7 days a week, fucking 24 hours a day. Yeah,
Brilliant
like
for
I
you.
say, I am a builder. So I went back to doing the building work um, about 89, I suppose. I started up with
Yeah.
Winston Roofcraft and started in
Yeah.
my own company, Coltech Construction, doing properties up. It was only when Metallica covered So What that invited me
Yeah.
back up. I
Right.
suddenly,
Yeah.
you know,
This is where I want to come to. So we get there, yeah, 1992. You've been out of the game. Now, it ain't like we're in the world we're in now when you might get an email from someone or something, and there's YouTube and all that. And they say, oh, I like your song years ago. Could you do this? Now we're in 92. You've been out the game. How the fuck was the contact from Metallica to you? And what did you think when you got it? How did that come about?
it was out of the blue, like they rightly say. And I think when JB, our drummer back in late '80s, phoned me up and said, Metallica they're covering your song. They want you to come and join them up in London. So who the fuck's Metallica? I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, well, don't you know that they're a big band? They're very big. Not interested. Not interested. I was fitting a roof rack on my car at the time in the middle of fucking rain and snow or whatever. And like Jamie kept phoning me up going, "You've got to fucking do this. You've got to go to Wembley and do this." I said, "What the fucking, I'm not interested in the fucking band." And he said, "No, no, these guys are serious money and you're going to get some money out of it." And I thought, well, I've been in the building trade for a few years. Put the roof
Why not?
on my
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
car.
So what?
I'm a
Yeah,
kid of coming handy, yeah. So anyway, I obviously rushed up there, did that, and they did say to me, "Why is the band quit? Why don't you get back together again? Why don't you do this?"
yeah,
And I suddenly thought to myself, well, it's a bit of fun because when you're in a building trade, as you might or might not know, there's no fun. You're
no,
with
it
your
ain't.
mates and you're working 7 days a week, fucking tax
Yeah,
collecting for freaking paying
yeah,
national
yeah,
insurance and fucking wages and and I thought, yeah, a couple of hours on stage would be all right. That'd be all right. So, they, in a sense, put me back, um, to looking at the band again. My
yeah.
sister then died in 2001, and
Oh,
my sister said to me all the time, "Will you stop fucking moaning?" Because in the building trade, you moan. Fucking weather's wrong. The fucking people don't pay the
yeah,
money.
yeah. I get that.
Fucking
Yeah,
wages. Fucking bloke's not here
yeah.
today. Fucking, I mean, the list is endless. So she used to say, "Stop moaning, stop moaning." So I thought, well, okay, I lost my sister, and then I thought,
Ah, good.
I'm going to be I'm gonna stop moaning. I'm gonna go get the band back together again, and we're gonna do a few happy shows, just shows where people want us.
Yeah,
Fortunately, um, people wanted to see us, so it
yeah,
it sort of grew. And as we
yeah,
know, the punk scene back in, should we say, early '90s, late '80s,
yeah.
was pretty dire. It was
It
pretty
was
dire.
bad. Yeah,
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 and we were all let go. You said you had painting and decorating. We all had to go back to work, didn't we?
yeah, yeah,
I was in the building side, bricklaying and shit like that,
yeah,
roofing and whatever. We
yeah.
all had to go back to work, and it's only slowly over the years, people want nostalgia of the old school stuff.
Yeah,
So
of
it
course they do.
kills it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the thing with that as well, Nick, if I could touch on, when you went to meet Metallica, did you have to meet them and do a rehearsal, or was it just turn up at Wembley Arena, introduced on the stage, and fucking go to it? Or did you have to rehearse it up with them and meet them? What was that like?
I would love to have rehearsed it.
Yeah, yeah, you just went on
You
and
know,
done it, yeah.
but on the first night in '92, I think it was, yeah, um,
Yeah,
they literally I couldn't hear what we went down in the snake pit below Wembley. Yeah, I went up there
yeah,
like that, but thinking, "What the fuck am I doing here?" Going on with the fans I don't fucking know, with audience I don't fucking know. What am I
yeah.
fucking doing here? It was really like that. And of course, underneath the snake pit, they came down and said, "Hey, animal, when you do so what? You go into the first thing and I went, what? What? Couldn't hear fuck all, mate. I couldn't hear
Yeah.
fuck all. I said, you fucking play it. I'll fucking sing it. That's it.
Oh,
So people
fucking
would
sing
come
it,
out
you
on
smarter.
stage, I had no idea what they were doing. And of course, it was different than our version, but I had to make it up.
Yeah.
And I think after that time, and they treated me well, Jeff. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
People want me to fucking slag them all the time. But that's we're
Nah,
trying
nah,
to
nah.
do. No, come on. Anybody who's in a
That
band
we
is fucking
speak as
hard
we
work.
find. That's right. Yeah, we speak as we find. If people are good to you, then we're good
Um,
back, and that's the
yeah,
way. Yeah, speak one
yeah,
of them.
and they do
But did they
they
pay you?
well, not really, but
No.
it was the fact that, I went and had a meal with them, stuff like that, and they spoke about when they was in the audience back in San Francisco when we were playing,
Yeah,
and they were in the audience, they were young kids in the audience looking at me, can shout me about all over the place, and it was just one of those things I thought, you don't have to be, good to an old boy like me,
yeah.
but they were really good, and I would never
Yeah.
ever knock them, ever
Kudos.
knock them. 'Em.
Yeah,
I'll take the
no,
piss
brilliant,
out of
mate.
'em, I'll take the
Yeah,
piss out of 'em, obvious. Any
yeah,
band, as you know, Jeff, as we know,
yeah,
any band doing anything is so fucking hard, and I would
yeah,
never knock another band at all,
yeah,
apart from Haircut
yeah.
100, hundreds.
Yeah.
You know, but,
Brilliant.
the thing
So,
is, it's hard work.
yeah, yeah, it's hard work. So then you come up and that you put the band together, so you start playing again. Now we start coming through the 90s, and obviously family life, like wife, kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did that interlock with coming back into the band, doing the band. I mean, how many kids have you got, Nick?
Fucking hundreds of them.
Yeah. And what did
All
they
over the
think?
fucking place. Every fucking no. I got 3 kids. I got 4 grandchildren.
Same here.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
should we just say that you everything's in the right place when you're older. You got to earn money. You got to pay the bills. You got to be. You've got family. You want a family? Fucking work with your family, and that's it. And
Yeah,
obviously,
100%. Yeah.
again, it's a balancing thing with family. Uh,
Yeah.
I could very easily, if my wife fucked me off, she could get the fuck out of my house. I could very easily go join a motorcycle gang and never see anyone again. But I've done that
Yeah.
route. I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
I think with me, for me, my family and everything is the main thing. Punk rock now is great fun. Great fun. I enjoy
Yeah.
playing the songs and upsetting people because I know in a way it don't affect me at all. You don't like me, then I don't give a fuck. You like me,
Yeah.
I do give a fuck. I don't really
Yeah.
care about anything anymore about anything.
Yeah.
And I think that same attitude when we first started is back in me now.
Yeah.
My fucking neighbours hate me. Fucking people hate me. They hate my fucking motorcycle everywhere. They fucking hate where I go. Well, that's
But
it.
I
I'm
know
still
about
banned from pubs in Tunbridge Wells. She's never looked yet.
yeah,
I'm
I
working
know,
there.
yeah,
They
yeah,
still don't
yeah, and they
fucking
go,
know me.
"Fuck off, yeah, we don't want you in
They
here."
don't like your tattoos.
Yeah.
Can look at my tattoos then, yeah.
Tattoos, yeah.
We
I
don't
don't
like
want to
image.
find, yeah. But I'll say this, Nick, right? That there is a band of us, like yourself, UK Subs, GBH, a lot of us, and we plan a lot of the same shows together, and everybody gets on. And I know this for a fact. You've always had a lot of time for your punters and people, and I know that for a fact. If people ask you for something, people who are fans of the band, you've always been obliging, and you've always been like a man of your fucking word. And people do go to you, and you've got a great reputation for that, and that's how it should be, shouldn't it?
Well, in a funny sort of way, I I said to you earlier, I'm not fazed by people. If they come up and want to
Yeah,
ask sensible questions, then I'll
yeah,
ask them sensibly. I will do whatever I can because
yeah,
I'm not a bully. I'm not a person to
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
pick on anybody at all.
yeah,
But of course, if you're a fucking wanker and you come up to me, I think your words are a nuisance or something.
yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Then fuck them
Well,
off.
if
Yeah,
you come up
yeah,
drunk and you're a fucking nuisance, then
yeah,
if you're going to push me too far, then we'll
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But if you're sensible and you want to fucking know some real
yeah,
things about the
yeah,
music, the scene, the things
yeah,
like that, I've got time for you. I've really
yeah.
got time for people who really want to know what it was like back in the 70s, 80s. Yep, yep, yep.
Excellent.
But if you come up pissed and start fucking, well,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, and
I
we
can
get a
handle a
lot.
lot more.
Yeah, we get a lot of them, and that's it. I'm very
I
much the
think
same.
piss, you
There's
call it.
people who hate
Piss.
me. Yeah, because the
Jeff, it's
cunts I've cunted off. Yeah.
Jeff, it's pests you call them, don't you? Pests.
Yeah, yeah, pests. Yeah, yeah.
Drug pests.
They're on the
Okay,
piss
we
list.
do. We all we have to I think the thing is, you can't expect everybody to be the same. I don't expect everyone to be,
No,
but of
that's
course,
right. Yeah,
if you're gonna treat me like a wanker, I'll treat you like
yeah.
one. And
Fucking treat you bad, then that's right. But so we're getting, we roll on into the early 2000s now. This is when it kind of a breakup. Is this when Magoo decides that he's had enough?
yeah, he's had
Yeah.
enough. See, as you know, there's no money in it. And
Yeah,
I
fuck all.
questioned myself. It's only because I was in the building trade that I could afford to do the band
Yeah,
because the band
yeah,
cost money. So, go to do a show costs you money. But I was earning money in the building trade. So that was it. So
yeah,
Magoo, no, he didn't. Magoo worked for a printing company. He was only allowed 3 weeks a year holiday.
yeah. That's a
So
fucker. Yeah,
and because he was starting up his motorcycle tours out in Europe, he was taking all the time with that. So he had no time for the
yeah,
band. And I said to him, well, I want to go and play. I want to, oh no, I've got no time. So we didn't fall out, but we just said, come to mutual agreement, you're off, I'm staying. He said, well, you always said you were going to quit the band. I said, but I like doing the band. So
Yeah, it's what I
it was
do.
like
It's me.
I can't really describe it, but for me, it was like I do the building trade and I go and play in the band. That it don't get better than that. Um, and over the years, as it got better and better and better, I did less building work and more band. Now I'm a retired old man, an old fucker, like that. I can afford to do the band more
Yeah, yeah,
because I'm not
yeah,
having to do building work and shit like that.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think now Magoo and I are back matey again. We are now writing our next album. So,
Fucking brilliant. There you
yeah.
go. That will be a fucking big event. That'll be great for you to come full circle because I think when I've listened to stuff like Pig Iron and stuff like that, it's brilliant. It seemed the band have moved on more, but really good, like a metally, more like Motorhead like feel, and it was really really good. How how did that go down with the older fans and people? Was that accepted? Because we all know sometimes a lot of them they turn and go, "You're changing direction. You ain't this. You ain't that."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a very fucking fine line, to do it. But that stuff it's really like fucking Motorhead, fucking Slayer kind of thing, and it's really good. But was it accepted?
Well, the thing is, you're going to piss some people off and going to excite other people. You can't please all the people all the time. All I wanted to do, in as the band went forward, when I did the Road to Brampton, the Kings and Queens
Yeah,
album, and
yeah,
the Cage album, what I wanted. See, a lot of people my age, and you probably know yourself, they come to a show, they don't want to be jumping around all the time, fucking banging their heads about smashing people. They want to stand and
sure.
look at something and listen to it.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think when I did the Cage album, Rampton album, I wanted somebody put it. I didn't want them to. If they come to a gig, so what? Streets of London, jump around, fucking smash your head about and whatever. But to sit in your car when you're traveling a journey, you want to listen to something like The Road to Brampton, the Cage album. It was
yeah.
only
I get that.
for your own, um, uh, your own place to be that you can then go along to the band
Yeah,
and remember the other side of it. For me personally, I listen to a couple of songs, blah, 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 blah. Then I get fucking bored. I have to
yeah,
think, hang on a minute, calm down. I want blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
To a couple of
yeah,
songs, blah, 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 blah. I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
fucking handle it. It might be an old age thing, but I wanted to put a little bit of colour into it. Having Magoo back on the scene with me,
yeah,
we're talking of the Branded album, which we wrote back in 1982, 3, where
yeah,
Kurd didn't want to put it out because he had no money, but it
yeah.
was an album which I wanted to do, Magoo wanted to do, and I don't know if I should tell you this, but it was like because it was the age of, the gender benders, the Boy Georges and all the people like
Yeah, yeah,
we were
yeah, yeah,
we were a different
Marilyn and
gang.
yeah,
We were a different
yeah,
gang. And like it wasn't like I want you to go against you. I have no fucking worry about people what they do. I believe me, I'm the last person to tell people what they should do.
yeah,
I've done everything I want to do in my life. Of
yeah,
course,
exactly.
because there was a great divide, the Branded album was you are what you are, and we are what we are, and we are branded, and we ain't gonna change it.
You
You can
fucking
do whatever
yeah,
you want to do. I can't
yeah,
do whatever. I'm a fucking toe rag. You know what I mean? And you're up doing and that was it.
yeah,
So the Branded album, but what good, or worse, was because I came up with the album cover, and it was, back in the early, 70s, late 70s, they had those
yeah,
wicker chairs, like
yeah,
they were sort of like high-backed wicker chairs where all the models used to sit in them, yeah?
set
I
up.
wanted to be sat in there, dressed in drag, yeah, with a champagne glass in my hand and a bottle of champagne in the other, with smeared lipstick, and like I'd just been shagged and raped, laying back on this chair, my knickers round my fucking ankles, and then, of course, the only way you knew it was me is because my tattoos were through my arm. And Kurt
Yeah,
went, "Fuck me, that's terrible." I said, "No, no, the object of the exercise was, you can be very, very, ladylike and do that, But if we wanted to do it, we'd be more ladylike than you, you know? It was
Yeah,
just
the
like
yoke,
it was just a bit of fun, but of course, he
yeah,
felt it was really bad at the time. Nobody has my sense of humor like that, and I
yeah,
if when we do the branded album this time around, I think people will understand it. It was just us and them, and
yeah,
it was not only the
yeah,
threat of World War III we were going through and all the other
yeah,
rubbish, it was a simple fact the whole world had divided into the
yeah.
into the transy sort of people and the fucking down and outs like me.
Yes. So, if you get this album together, Nick, right?
Yeah.
Will you tour the album? Would Magoo be part of the lineup if you
Uh,
go out and do it? Or am I pushing too much here?
I've spoke to
You
him
can't
about it the
say.
other night because 'cause we're trying to work out the songs on the branded album because he wants to be involved every step of the way, and I said to him, "Yeah, will you come on stage with me at the Forum in Tunbridge Wells? Because we always do that every year,
Yeah,
Tunbridge Wells."
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
fine with me.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, 1/3 of me says yes, 2/3 of me says fuck off."
Off-
So but I'm
so,
working on it. I'm working on it.
yeah,
And I think once we get in the studio and stuff like that, my ideal situation, but don't tell him, would be
no.
him to come up to Rebellion with us. Rebellion next year, we're on Rebellion. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
We're on Rebellion with you next year, Nick. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's the 50th
yeah,
year of punk. It's
yeah,
it's the big annual event for everything happening. Magoo said it's 25 years since I left the band. It's 40 years since it's 40 years. I'm 70. Yep. So we're going to be.
fucking hell, Nick. Yeah, never. Yeah. So, something. But this is the thing. 70. It's kind of your way. I mean, I've got 8 grandchildren, right? And I look at them
Oh,
sometimes. And I was sent a photo last night. They was all at a gathering. Two of them, one of them, the youngest is 4 weeks old. And my son sent me this photo, and I thought, I wonder if they know what their silly old granddad's doing. I was running round the stage saying, freedom, there ain't no fucking freedom. And I thought, sometimes I sit back and think, you can. And then other times I think, in my mind can't grow up. Like, because I think
when
when
they
you get on there, it just comes flooding back, doesn't it? You know?
yeah, and when you're gone, when we're all gone, our
Yeah.
grandchildren, great grandchildren go. Tell you what, they were all right, weren't they? That's it.
Yeah,
It might be
we
an
see him on
I might get an
YouTube.
embarrassment now because my grandchildren all call me Granimal.
Granimal. That's right. And
Yeah. When
so,
they mess about, I go, "Don't you do that? Don't you do that?"
so Nick,
No,
I mean,
I think the fun of it, fun side of it is though, Jeff. You know,
yeah.
as we've, I think you probably feel the same to me. Is that you're having a second chance, but enjoying it more.
Come on. And
More
enjoying it
enjoyable
more now.
now. No
Yeah,
record company shit, no
yeah,
bollocks, no pressure,
yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
You do
yeah,
it because it's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
You do it because you like it,
Uh,
and you're right. It's a different feeling now of all the
Yep.
pressure that was there. And Nick, I think that we've been very, very lucky in a way to come from similar backgrounds, to come where we was, fighting against the odds in this rotten fucking game. But we've been to some fantastic places. We've been able to travel the world on it, meet
Yeah.
great people, and
Yeah. Yeah.
have great experience. For all the shit experiences, we've had great experiences. And I say it. What now would you say? You coming up, say 70 next year? We've got Rebellion and all that. Would you see in the next couple of years, Nick, you're still going to be going for it, aren't you? You're still going to do it.
My philosophy of life is you're old as the motorcycle you ride.
Yeah, and that's right. Yeah,
I get a
yeah.
new motorcycle every few years.
Nah,
No, I don't.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
brilliant.
I still ride my Harleys. I still ride my bikes. Yeah, I still ride with outlaw motorcycle clubs as a friend. I
Yeah,
still do everything I've always wanted to do. I'm very, very fortunate with that. I go in the building trade. I do things. I have my grandchildren and my kids like that. I go out and ride with the HA or whoever outlaw motorcycle
yeah,
club I'm with. Um, I still haven't changed my aspect of life. The only thing what will change me is health, as we know. Health will if
yeah.
the only thing would dictate
Yeah, that's a
all of the
battle that that we can't fight. Yeah, health it is because you must get it. I know, Nick. If your knees are playing up, your fucking back and all that, and
you know, the building
sometimes,
trade.
yeah, yes, oh, fucking building trade, yeah, whatever. And it's hard to get around at stage. But why? I know the pool depreciates probably every year with punk was people were dead, people were seen us 1,000
Yeah, yeah,
times,
yeah,
and
yeah.
but the 50 years of one genre, we're still able to get up there,
I
and
think a
play
funny
it
sort of
was
way.
pretty remarkable, really.
Oh, mate, and I think in a way we fly the flag for a lot of people we've lost along the way, mate, because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
mustn't forget
yeah.
them. There's so many
No,
people would
no.
love to be in your and my position.
Yeah,
You know, we're very lucky. We're very, very lucky. And there isn't a day goes by where I don't sit down and think, fuck, I don't deserve this. I fucking don't deserve this. I should have been dead fucking years ago. What the fuck is this about? You know. So yeah, mate. Every day is a magic moment for me.
yeah.
And
Every
I
day
think,
above
well,
ground is a good one. The immortal
yeah,
words, yeah.
and I think if I've got to be honest, the guy who glassed me, I don't we won't go into details of that, but I always
Yeah,
thought that I was going to be. I always thought that I was going to be stabbed or killed in some bad way.
yeah,
When
yeah,
I was
yeah.
growing up, well, you live by the sword, you're going to die by it. Some fucker's going
Yeah,
to
and that
stab
was a
you in the
dodgy
liver.
time for you. I remember it, Nick. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
wasn't it?
So,
Yeah,
I had this young lad come up behind me, smashed me in a beer glass, took my eye out, fucking killed me for 2 minutes. I died for 2 minutes while they cut all the glass out of my neck, all my
yeah,
vocal cords were all fucked,
yeah,
everything. So 2 minutes I died. And I joke about it now and I sort of say, when I looked up, there was no fucking light at the end of the tunnel. I looked down, there was no fucking flames. Nobody wanted me.
yeah. Ah, well, yeah,
That's it.
they didn't, but you survived. And as I say this, Nick, we'll end up. You are a rock and roll survivor, and you're an icon around the world in the punk game. And they can
But
say, "Oh, it's a career. You've had a great career, and we're
yeah,
lucky, and we can still meet up, and we can still go on until health dictates to us otherwise." So,
yes, mate.
you know, uh, as I say, Nick, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, mate, and speak front man to front man and have a good
Thanks,
laugh
Jim.
as we do, like we'd be speaking in the pub. And
Yes, mate.
always a pleasure. And
Yeah.
we'll be on shows together next year. We'll be doing them Rebellion, I think North East Calling, whatever. As I say, it's always great to see you on the road, bump into you. Like, long live the league. You've had a brilliant career. And as I say, Nick Animal Colmer, thanks for being part of Stinky Turner's Rough and Ready. You're a legend, mate. And we'll get you on the
Thank you,
fucking
Jeff.
road, all right, mate?
Love you, Jeff.
Love you too, Nick. Top man.
Take care.
Brilliant.
Take care.
Top man, mate.